What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be ranking every LEGO Star Wars battle pack ever made. And we have over 40 LEGO sets on this list, so let's just jump straight into it. In at 42nd place, by far the worst battle pack easily has to be the First Order battle pack, which is set 75132, which came with 88 pieces, features 4 minifigures and retailed for $13 in the US. And this LEGO set was released in 2016 and featured 4 minifigures, those being 2 First Order crew members and 2 regular First Order stormtroopers. The main build for the set was a laser cannon turret, and in my opinion this was just a really bad battle pack. No one really likes the sequel battle packs, and that will be a running theme in this list. A lot of those sequel battle packs are really bad, especially the crew members. They're so bland in terms of the minifigures. So yeah, this easily has to be the worst battle pack ever made. And that takes us on to the 41st worst battle pack ever made, and that is the First Order Specialist battle pack, which is set 75197. It came with 108 pieces and retailed for $15 way back in December of 2017. And the minifigures are a little bit more lively in this set. You've got 2 First Order Stormtrooper Executioners, a First Order Gunner and a First Order Shuttle Pilot. And the minifigures did look a little bit better compared to the old battle pack, so that's why I placed this battle pack a little bit higher up on the list. Moving on to 40th place is the Tatooine battle pack, which is set 75198. This came with 97 pieces and featured 2 Jawas, a Tusken Raider and an astromech droid. This was released back in January 2018. And as much as I love original trilogy LEGO sets, this one is just very bland. The Jawas should have come with capes, but they don't in this LEGO set. The astromech is just like any other astromech you've ever seen, but I will say that the Tusken Raider minifigure is very good. I love that moulded headpiece. Moving on now, we have the Elite Praetorian Guard battle pack set 75225. This came with 109 pieces and was released back in 2019. This came with 3 Praetorian Guards and 1 First Order Stormtrooper, and the minifigures are decent, but it's that build that really lets itself down. It's probably the worst build out of all the battle packs, so yeah, that's why I had to place this LEGO set quite far down the list. And at 38th place we have the Rebel Trooper battle pack set 75164. This came with 120 pieces, retailed for $13 in the US and was released back in March of 2017. This came with 4 regular Rebel Troopers, and this set just looks a little bit of a mess to me, and I've always found it really weird when we have Rebel Trooper battle packs that don't feature any kind of different aliens. I always think of the Rebel Alliance being very diverse, having lots of different species be a part of that army. Moving on now, we have Death Star Troopers battle pack, which is set 75034, came with 100 pieces, was released way back in January 2014 and retailed for $13. This LEGO set came with 2 Imperial Gunners and 2 Royal Guards. I've always loved the design for the Royal Guards, and LEGO knocked it out of the park with the minifigures here. The Imperial Gunner minifigures are rather plain though, and that's why this LEGO set probably isn't as high up on the list as it could have been. Next up is the Resistance Trooper battle pack set 75131. This came with 112 pieces, was sold for $13 at retail and was released way back in 2016. It came with 3 Resistance soldiers and 1 Resistance officer, and what I do quite like about this battle pack is the helmets are quite detailed. You've got that translucent visor which looks pretty cool, and the speeder build is also quite decent. I feel from this point onwards we're going to start seeing some much better battle packs. In at 35th place is the Bounty Hunter Speeder Bike battle pack. This is set 75167. This came with 122 pieces, was sold for $15 and was released back in 2017. This features 4 famous bounty hunters from the Star Wars saga, that being Dengar, Bosk, IG-88 and 4 Lom. And the minifigures are absolutely fantastic. The speeder bike is also very good. As a regular LEGO set, this would probably have featured much higher up on the list, but when it comes to battle packs, this LEGO set isn't really what you're looking for. You can't exactly army build with this kind of set. These are all named characters, so buying any more than one just doesn't make any sense. From a LEGO set point of view, it's very good, but from a battle pack point of view, it's pretty much terrible. Next up is the Rebel Trooper battle pack set 8083. This came with only 79 pieces and was sold for $12 back in December of 2009. And the minifigures in this LEGO set were Zev Seneska, a Hoth officer and 2 Rebel Troopers, and the officer and the 2 Rebel Troopers are featured in their Hoth gear, so that always looks pretty cool. I've always loved the design for the Hoth Rebels outfits. You've got all the coats and winter gear associated with that epic scene from Empire Strikes Back. The speeder build is okay, but it doesn't exactly make any sense because we didn't even see that in the movies. Next up we have the First Order Transport Speeder Battle Pack, set 75166. This came with 117 pieces, retailed for $15 and was released back in 2017. This set came with a First Order Officer, 2 First Order Stormtroopers and 1 First Order Flame Trooper. I think this is definitely one of the better sequel battle packs, especially because that First Order Flame Trooper looks really cool. I love the gear that he has, and I love some of the equipment that comes in this battle pack, such as the First Order Riot Shield and Baton. It looks really good. Next up is the Imperial Patrol Battle Pack. This is set 75207. This came with 99 pieces, was sold for $15 at retail and was released back in April of 2018. This Lego set came with 2 Imperial Patrol Troopers, an Imperial Recruitment Officer and Zuzanu Lat. The build is very basic, but I absolutely love the Imperial Patrol Officers. They look really cool. The printing and colouring of their armour is absolutely fantastic. Next up is the Assassin's Droid Battle Pack, set 8015. This came with 94 pieces, was sold for only $10, retailed for only $10 and was released back in 2008. This came with 3 Assassin Droids and 2 Elite Assassin Droids. I remember buying a few of these as a kid and they were just so fun to build. You really did rack up an Assassin Droid army very quickly. It would have been a little bit better though if we would have had more detailing on those Assassin Droids. They are rather plain, so maybe some printing would have gone a long way. Next up is the Imperial Dropship, set 7667. This came with 81 pieces, was sold for $10 way back in December of 2007. This came with 3 regular Stormtroopers and 1 Shadow Trooper. This really was such a great army builder. Being able to get 3 regular Stormtroopers and 1 Shadow Trooper really does mean that you was able to build an Imperial army very quickly. I've always loved that ratio of 3 regular troopers to 1 specialist trooper. To be honest, I think that's how most battle packs should be done. You always want more of the regular troopers compared to those special ones, so this Lego set just makes absolute total sense. And the dropship itself isn't that bad, seeing as this was made back in 2007. And that Shadow Trooper, I must say, is very good. It almost looks like something you'd get out of a special polybag from May the 4th. We're up to 27th place now, and next up we have the Jedi and Clone Troopers Battle Pack, set 75206. This came with 102 pieces, was sold for $15 back in April of 2018. And as much as I do really like this Lego set, because the minifigures are brilliant, this has the same problem the Bounty Hunter Battle Pack has, with the fact that 2 of these minifigures in this Lego set are named characters. And if you are trying to army build the 2 clone troopers that are in this set and you're buying multiples of this set, well, you're going to end up with tons of doubles and triples of Ki-Adi-Mundi and Barriss Offee. And I have to say that build is not very good at all. I really do hate it. It looks an absolute mess. It just looks like a bunch of random bricks that have been shoved together by a 5-year-old. The only reason this Lego set features somewhat high up on the list is because the minifigures are very good. The 2 Phase 1 clone troopers are great, and that Ki-Adi-Mundi minifigure is absolutely awesome. Next up is the Snow Trooper Battle Pack, which is set 8084. This came with 74 pieces and had a retail price of $11 and was sold back in 2009. This Lego set includes 2 Snow Troopers, a AT-AT pilot and 1 Imperial officer. I would have preferred Lego swap out the AT-AT pilot for another Snow Trooper, but setting that aside, I really do love this Lego set. This was one of my favourites as a kid. I bought a fair few of these just to build up my Snow Trooper army. And the build is also very solid. You've got a turret upon some snowy terrain, and then you have an Imperial speeder which looks very good. Next up is the Rebels Alliance Battle Pack, set 75133, which came with 101 pieces, sold for $13 and was released back in 2016. And what I really like about this battle pack is, as I said about the diversity of the Rebel Alliance, this Lego set doesn't have that problem. You've got 2 human minifigures here, but you've also got 2 different alien breeds here. And that really does make this battle pack feel like a proper Rebel Alliance battle pack, with lots of different alien races coming together to fight a common cause. On to 24th place now, we have the Clone Trooper Battle Pack. This is set 7913. It came with 85 pieces, was retailing for $12 back in 2010. I think quite a lot of you guys watching this video will remember this Lego set very fondly. This was a very awesome Lego battle pack when it was first released. This Lego set features an ARF Trooper, 2 Bomb Squad Troopers and a Clone Commander. And I just really love the minifigures that are included in this Lego set. It was nice to be able to have a change of getting different factions of clone troopers. Up until this point, it was very rare that you had different factions of clone troopers included in a battle pack. So to have 3 different types of clone troopers in this one battle pack was really awesome. In particular, I've always loved the Bomb Squad Troopers. I think the orange markings on them really do differentiate themselves from other clone troopers. And of course that ARF Trooper looks awesome as always. That special helmet just looks fantastic. Up next we have the Inferno Squad Battle Pack set 75226. This came with 118 pieces, was released back in 2019 and features 4 minifigures, those being Iden Versio and 3 Inferno Squad agents. This LEGO set was based off the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign, and basically the Inferno Squad is the SEAL Team 6 version of the Imperial Army. These were the elite of the elite, and I love this battle pack. I think it looks really good. The Inferno Squad minifigures look so cool. The printing on them is fantastic. The speeder build is pretty meh, but really you're buying this LEGO set for the minifigures, which are very good. Up next is the Imperial Dropship, the 20th Anniversary Edition, and this is set 75262. This came with 125 pieces, retailed for $20 back in April of 2019. So this is basically a remake of the original Imperial Dropship, so it features 3 Imperial Stormtroopers and 1 Shadow Trooper. The minifigures are definitely an upgrade on the old version, as is the Dropship itself. And this LEGO set is different from any other on this list because this is a 20th Anniversary Edition, so it featured a special Han Solo minifigure with the 20th Anniversary printed on his back, and it also came with a little stand for him. And you'll find now that this LEGO set has gone up a fair amount in such a short period of time. Next up is set 75165, the Imperial Trooper Battle Pack, which comes with 112 pieces and featured 4 minifigures, 2 of which are regular Stormtroopers and 2 are Imperial Death Troopers. And this LEGO set retailed for $13 in the US and £12 in the UK, and I think this is a great battle pack. This LEGO set was based off of the Rogue One movie, which was very well received, and one thing that was done really well in that movie was the introduction of the Imperial Death Troopers. They looked so awesome in the movie, and LEGO absolutely nailed their look in this LEGO set. Now this is actually the second version of the Imperial Death Trooper, as there were previous versions the year prior. These ones don't come with the cloth pauldron, but still they look really good. And you've got 2 regular Stormtroopers, so this was a great way to army build both regular Stormtroopers and Death Troopers, and it was a great way to bolster your Imperial army. Up next is the Clone Troopers v Droids Battle Pack, which is set 75000. It came with 124 pieces, it retailed for $13 back in 2013. And this LEGO set featured a Clone Trooper, a Clone Trooper Sergeant and 2 regular Droidicas. Now I really don't like the Droidica figures, in fact I think they're one of the worst we've ever seen, but I do quite like the Clone Command Station, that looks pretty decent, and the Clone Sergeant looks very awesome with that special green marking. Up next we have the Republic Troopers v Sith Troopers, set 75001. This only came with 63 pieces, so a very low piece count, and this retailed for $13 back in 2013. It came with 2 Sith Troopers, both of which had slight different variations, one with a slightly red armour and one with more black armour. And the minifigures look decent, but the only reason this LEGO set features so high up on the list is the fact that it was just so awesome that we had a Knights of the Old Republic LEGO set put into a battle pack. Next up we have the Sith Troopers Battle Pack set 75266. This came with 105 pieces and retailed for $15 back in January of 2020. This LEGO set featured a Sith Trooper, 2 Sith Jet Troopers and a Sith Fleet Officer. And although I usually hate anything in conjunction with the Rise of Skywalker movie, this battle pack wasn't actually that bad. In fact I do quite like the design of the Sith Troopers. Even the Sith Jet Troopers look very cool. And the speeder is also quite decent, so not actually that many complaints with this LEGO set. Next up is the Shadow Troopers Battle Pack set 75079. This came with 95 pieces, retailed for $13 back in 2015, and this set came with 2 Shadow Troopers and 2 Shadow Guards. A very cool LEGO set which featured 2 different types of Shadow Troopers, both of which look very cool. In particular I like the Shadow Guard, a bit of a different take on the Royal Guard, apart from these ones come in all black, so very menacing and they look really good. Next up is the Ambush on Mandalore Battle Pack set 75373. This comes with 109 pieces, retails for $20 and was released in June of 2024. Now I've not got too much to say about the Mandalorian minifigures, they're very average, but really where it's at is those Imperial Commando Troopers. They are absolutely phenomenal. You've got that new mould for the helmet piece, and the printing and the colouring for this minifigure is just perfect. I think this LEGO set will sell very well on the basis of just those 2 minifigures alone. Next up is the 332nd Ahsoka's Clone Trooper Battle Pack set 75359. This comes with 108 pieces, retails for $20 and was released back in August of 2023. So as of recording, this LEGO set is still currently available to buy. This LEGO set does have quite a lot of haters, but I actually don't mind it. I really like this LEGO set. I think the 332nd Clone Troopers look very good. This LEGO set features 3 of them, and you also get a Clone Captain Vaughn. I do think that minifigure is a little bit lackluster, but what I do love about this LEGO set is that Swamp Speeder, which looks very cool, and then all the different accessories you get for the Clone Troopers. You get lots of orange clone visors and also jetpacks to go with these troopers, so there really is a lot of customization you can do with this battle pack. Up next is the Mandalorian Battle Pack, which was released back in 2020. This is set 75267. It came with 102 pieces and retailed for $15. I think all 4 of the Mandalorian minifigures look very cool. They all come with their own unique colours and capes, which looks very cool, and also the printing on each and every one of the minifigures is fantastic. This really was a great way to build up your Mandalorian army. Next up is the Mandalorian Battle Pack, but this is the one that was released back in January of 2011. This is set 7914, it came with 68 pieces and retailed for $12. This one's much different to the newer Mandalorian Battle Pack. This one featured 4 Mandalorian minifigures all in blue armour. And this was a really awesome battle pack at the time. It features a speeder and also a turret build. And the printing on the minifigures looks very good, although they don't have leg printing, which is a little bit annoying. That would have been awesome if they would have included that. Next up is the 501st Clone Trooper Battle Pack set 75345. This comes with 119 pieces, retails for $20 and was only released back in January of 2023. This set comes with a 501st Officer, a 501st Specialist and 2 501st Heavy Troopers. Each and every one of these minifigures is based off a soldier class from the Star Wars Battlefront 2 game. In particular, I love the Specialist Clone Trooper. You've got that special moulded visor piece which looks fantastic. Next up is the Endor Rebel Trooper and Imperial Trooper Battle Pack, set 9489. This came with 77 pieces and retailed for $13 back in 2012. By buying multiples of this LEGO set, you'd be building in effect 2 different factions. The Rebel Troopers in their Endor outfits look great, and then you've got a Scout Trooper and a Stormtrooper. I really love the Scout Trooper look, the helmet is very good. It also comes with that Endor speeder, and then the build for the Rebel side is a brick built tree. Next up we have the Senate Commando Troopers set 75088. This came with 106 pieces, retailed for $13 back in January of 2015. And the minifigures in this LEGO set are a Senate Commando Captain and 3 Senate Commandos. And I really love this battle pack. I've always loved the look of these Senate Commandos. They have a really awesome design. I love that all blue armour, and especially the Senate Commando which has the white markings on it, just looks fantastic. It's not really the kind of faction you'd want to army build, as it's not like there's many Senate Commandos compared to regular clone troopers or droids. But still, they look very cool, and to be able to get these for only $13 was awesome. Next up is the Imperial Troop Transport, which is set 75078. This came with 141 pieces, 4 Stormtroopers, retailed for $13 back in January of 2015. And this is just the perfect battle pack in the sense of you've got 4 army buildable characters, or should I say minifigures, because they're not really characters, they're just regular Stormtroopers. The build is obviously, it's a nothing build, you're not exactly going to want that for your army. You're buying these purely for the minifigures, and with the price of $13, you're paying $3.25 per minifigure, which isn't that bad at all. And the Stormtrooper minifigures are quite good, so this was a great set to be able to army build your Imperial army. Next up is the Galactic Empire Battle Pack, set 75134. This came with 109 pieces, retailed for $13 back in 2016. And this LEGO set comes with 2 Imperial Jetpack Troopers, an Imperial Shock Trooper and an Imperial Officer. The 2 Imperial Jetpack Troopers look very cool, but really what I love about this LEGO set is that Imperial Shock Trooper. It is absolutely fantastic, probably one of my favourite minifigures in this entire list. It really is that good, the colour and the printing are just absolutely fantastic. Next up is the Geonosis Troopers set 75089. This comes with 105 pieces, retailed for $13 back in January of 2015. This LEGO set came with 2 Geonosis Clone Troopers and 2 specialised Geonosis Clone Troopers. This is just the epitome of the perfect LEGO Star Wars battle pack. It comes with a small build and 4 great army buildable characters. I really do love the Geonosis Trooper armour. That kind of desert camo just looks absolutely fantastic. Next up is the Rebel Scout Speeder set 7668. This came with 82 pieces, 4 Rebel Troopers and retailed for only $10 back in January of 2008. It looks really good, the speeder is fantastic and those Rebel Fleet Troopers look awesome. Very nostalgic, and that's probably what's kind of tugging at my heartstrings, is a really nostalgic LEGO set that most older LEGO Star Wars fans will likely remember. Next up we have the newer Snowtrooper Battle Pack set 75320, which comes with 105 pieces, retailed for $20 and was released in January of 2022. This LEGO set comes with 3 Snowtroopers and 1 Scout Trooper. Although the interesting thing about this Scout Trooper is that it is a Hoth version of the Scout Trooper. So the colouring and the printing is a little bit different to a regular Scout Trooper and it looks awesome. It's by far one of my favourite Imperial Troopers ever made. And moving on to the Snowtroopers, they're also pretty good. The headpiece for the Snowtrooper is as good as it ever has been. The printing is also very good on both the torso and the legs. And then for 105 pieces you get some snowy terrain, a Hoth speeder and a E-Web cannon. On to 7th place we have the Elite Clone Trooper and Commando Droid Battle Pack. This is set 9488, it comes with 98 pieces, retailed for $13 back in 2012, and this LEGO set came with an ARC Trooper, an ARF Trooper and 2 Commando Droids. The 2 Commando Droids are great and the ARF Trooper is also very good, but what makes this LEGO set so special is easily that ARC Trooper. It's easily the best LEGO minifigure on this entire list. I don't think I'm going out on a limb by saying that. In my personal opinion, it's one of, if not the best clone minifigures ever made. If you haven't got that minifigure, I highly recommend you grab it because it will be extremely expensive in the future. So for that reason alone, this battle pack has to feature very high up on the list. It's a fantastic LEGO set featuring 4 great minifigures. Next up we have the Clone Walker Battle Pack. This is set 8014. This comes with 72 pieces and features 1 Clone Commander, 2 regular Clone Troopers and 1 Clone Gunner. This LEGO set retailed for $12 and was released in December of 2008. This is a very nostalgic LEGO set to me. I bought so many of these as a kid. It was just such a fantastic clone army builder. And there was also a lot of customization you could do because the Clone Commander wasn't really a Clone Commander. He was actually just a regular Phase 1 Clone Trooper, but all you had to do was put on the accessories, that being the visor, the pauldron and the waist cape. So in effect, if you didn't even want to put that on, you had 3 regular Clone Troopers. The Clone Walker wasn't exactly groundbreaking, but just the essence of this battle pack, everything it stands for, the fact that there's a lot of customization, the fact that it was just one of the best army builders ever made for only $12. It's just a fantastic LEGO set and very nostalgic. So in at 5th place is the Droids Battle Pack set 7654. This came with 102 pieces, retailed for $10 and was released in January of 2007. This isn't just one of the best battle packs ever made, it's one of the best LEGO Star Wars sets ever made. It really is that good. It comes with 4 regular battle droids and 3 super battle droids. This was a fantastic cheap army builder that came with a cool droid carrier and also a droid stap. The droid carrier looks fantastic as well as the stap, so the builds are great and so are the minifigures. There really was just nothing bad about this LEGO set. And in at 4th place is the LEGO set that was released alongside the Droid Battle Pack, that being the Clone Troopers Battle Pack. This is set 7655, it came with 58 pieces, was retailing for $10 back in January of 2007, and this set came with a Shock Trooper, a Star Corps Trooper and 2 regular Clone Troopers. So this is the granddaddy of the Clone Trooper Battle Pack. This was the one that started it all, and what a great LEGO set this was. It came with a brick-built turret, as well as a bark speeder that could fit 2 Clone Troopers on it. The builds were great, as well as the minifigures. The minifigures were just chef's kiss. The Star Corps Trooper was brilliant, the Shock Trooper was brilliant. Those original Star Wars Episode 3 clone helmets were just fantastic. Such an old beloved set which still holds up to this day. So we've had a look at some of the older sets, now we're moving on to one of the newest sets on this list, and that is the Clone Trooper and Battle Droid Battle Pack. Set 75372, this comes with 215 pieces, retails for $30 and was released back in January of 2024. This is the biggest LEGO set on the list, coming with 9 minifigures, those being a Clone Shock Trooper, 3 regular Phase 2 Clone Troopers, 2 regular B1 Battle Droids and 3 Super Battle Droids. This is easily the best army builder on this list. Each time you grab this LEGO set you'll be getting 4 Clone Troopers, 5 Battle Droids, and the set itself is just absolutely fantastic. The main build being a Octopara droid which goes alongside the Separatist droids. It also features a droid stap, a clone turret and a clone bark speeder. The minifigures may not hold up as well as some of the other minifigures on this list, but it's still a fantastic LEGO set and it will definitely go down as one of, if not the most bought LEGO set on this entire list. It really has been that popular. Moving on to 2nd place, now we have the Kashyyyk Troopers set 75035. This comes with 99 pieces, retailed for $13 back in January 2014. Again, it's another LEGO set which is just the perfect battle pack. It comes with 2 Kashyyyk Clone Troopers and 2 Kashyyyk Scout Troopers. I do love the little swamp speeder build as it's very accurate. It did appear in the Battle of Kashyyyk and the minifigures are just fantastic. That green camo looks so cool on them. By far it's one of the best clone factions we've had thus far. So moving on to first place now, there can only be one winner, and for me it has to be the Utabar Trooper Battle Pack. Set 75036, it came with 83 pieces, retailed for $13 back in 2014. And the 4 minifigures for the LEGO set were 2 212 Clone Troopers and 2 Clone Paratroopers. I do quite like the 212 Clone Troopers, they are quite good, although I actually prefer the newer versions. But for me, the Clone Paratroopers look absolutely fantastic. They even come with that cloth waist cape, which looks awesome. Again, it's another one of my favourite clone minifigures ever made, and they are starting to become very expensive. I also love the build for this LEGO set, that being a Octopara droid. It's not just another boring speeder like most of these battle packs, it's actually a build where the clone troopers can fight it. So it has that added factor of playability to this battle pack. So there we have it guys, every LEGO battle pack ranked from worst to first. I hope you've enjoyed this video, it took me a damn long time to make. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Anyway guys, thank you for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.